and usually I can do everything from this, but if I can't, I can't. And now Jeff's got to figure out what to write. So it's going to be
in a recording.
It is recorded. But now I need you to make Elizabeth. Are you going to get home to teach the stuff, or where are you at?
What do you mean?
Well, I sent you the slides this morning. You had said that you would do it tonight. If you can't, I can do it.
I had to go. I was at court all day getting a restraining order.
Okay. All right. Well, hang on and let me find so I can pull it up and I'll go through it.
My bad. That's a miscommunication.
No worries.
I did get it though.
Okay.
So
Jeff,
that's good.
you make me the host because I can't share my screen. Hang on a second. Jeff is over here trying to make jelly, and I'm messing everything up for him, I think. Let me go. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't have it up.
Don't be sorry.
No problem.
This is designated Kimball time. You can do whatever you want.
Kimball, you're the host.
Huh? I'm host. Okay. Well, now I've just got to find. There's two different PowerPoints on my computer, and I've got to find the one that's got it in it. And the one I opened isn't the one that has it in it.
Yay, Jeff.
Here, maybe this is it. Let's see.
Is he really making jelly?
He is. There. It's a long story, but we've got a scuppernong grapevine that is growing up in a tree, and
Jeff is amazing. Remember when he made me kefir?
yeah.
It was so great.
If you lived closer, I would have given you the thing. He can't do kefir anymore because it doesn't agree with him. Let's see.
I buy it from the store. I did it for a long time because he gave me some to grow and keep it on my own. And I did it for a good bit. And then once we got here, I think it was too much in the travel.
Yeah. Hang on, I may have to. I know I had it because I sent it before this morning, but now.
I'll be home in like 2 minutes, and I can pull up my laptop.
Well, that's okay. I mean, as soon as I get into the, I have 360 PowerPoint and I have the other PowerPoint, but I thought that's really weird. It just didn't show in anywhere. I may.
Tony had to come in and share the dinner funny story. So I made a roast con pollo and I cooked chicken on the bone. But I also had some chicken breast that was shredded and I put it in the pan over the rice. Mm-hmm. And I knew my Sydney would prefer the shredded chicken because she doesn't care for brown chicken because she says it tastes funny. But if I shred it off of the bone and put red hot and cream cheese and make it in a barbecue thing, she don't care. She don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That is good.
That's what happens when you're 9.
That is, and it's
okay. That's why I did it that way, because I knew she would say it tastes funny.
All right, can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, this is training 4, and you can do it. You are doing it, and it is done. So, all right, gimmicks and shortcuts, they simply don't work. If you just give someone scripts and ways to play through things, it doesn't work. You know, for one thing, it's not being genuine. And that was one of the things that my coach really drilled home the other day when we were talking is, you know, it's a matter of, you know, doing the right thing at the right time, all of these kind of things. And so it's a matter of, to be successful in whatever you're going to be, it's about being authentic and about what you care about. Success is a result of doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time. And, you know, if you look back in history at almost every time that we've had some kind of grave catastrophe, those were the rules that were broken. I think back, because I was a little girl when Richard Nixon was impeached. Well, we start out there doing the right thing. Well, breaking and entering was not the right thing to do. He did it to help himself win illegally. And, you know, he did it at a time that it really wrecked his presidency, and it just about wrecked the United States. So you can think of this on a larger level, like in governments, but it also goes back into our daily lives and into everything that we do. So Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The book is 30 years old, and they have re-released it. And I don't even know how many times that I have read it in my life, but my coach asked me the other week to read it again, and it's probably been about 5 years. But when I looked at it, it got me to really thinking about paradigms. You know, and our paradigms are the way we see the world. Correct or incorrect, our paradigms are the sources of our attitudes, our behaviors, ultimately our relationships with others. And you know what, I tell people all the time that perception, well, let me ask you all, what do you all think is more important, perception or reality?
Reality.
Reality.
Is it really?
Perception, I think.
I think it is.
If you perceive that someone is breaking in your house and they have a gun and they're going to kill you, and you have a gun, are you likely to shoot?
If they're really there, if it's reality.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of someone shooting and then finding out that it was their loved one? I mean, this happened to some people I know in Smithfield just a couple of years ago. The wife left for work. She worked the 3rd shift, and the child woke up and told Daddy somebody was trying to break in, and they called the police. And as they pushed through the door, the father shot twice, and the mother was killed. Now, reality is the most important, but our perception is going to do a lot more to influence our behavior, because, to be honest with you, perception is reality. Until he realized that was his wife, the reality was somebody was breaking into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was his reality. When he realized that his wife was shot, it was just awful, because that wasn't the reality. And our perceptions are created by everything that we've ever done in our lives. You know, have you ever had a friend or someone who was always worried that someone was out to get them? I will tell you, I've got a client I'm working with right now. I've worked with this person 10 years. And for 10 years, she has thought she was going to get fired from a North Carolina state job, which, I mean, you really have to work to get fired by them. And she's never even gotten a write-up, but she is always sure that they are getting ready to fire her and they're trying to come up with information to fire her. And so for 10 years, she has worried and fretted over this. Now, what is causing her problems? Is it the reality or is it the perception?
Perception.
That's right. And that's something that I really think is key in thinking about how we work on it. So I want to think about, are you getting the results you want with Nikken? And if you're not, what are your beliefs about that? When you do Humans Being More, there is an exercise that Jeff Isom will have you, and he'll have you say, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I am rich. I am rich. I am rich. And he'll ask you, how do you feel when you say those things? It's kind of interesting to me. Many people paradigm keeps them from achieving what they can achieve. I was talking to a little girl this week. She's just turned 14, and she says, I'm really struggling in school. And I said, really? She said, yeah, I'm taking all these honors classes. I'm really struggling. I said, so what are your grades? Oh, I got straight A's.
And she struggled.
She's struggling. I said, most of the time when I talk to kids and they tell me how they're struggling, I just don't think I'm that smart. This is a child that to date has never had anything in school but an A.
Oh, wow.
So you see how perception and reality, it's important that we get those together, and it's important that we create paradigms. And this particular child, I know she's been through a lot of hard knocks, and she doesn't have a lot of trust in the adults in her life. And what has happened is that has created not a lot of trust in herself. And that's very sad. But you have the power to decide. If you believe you can, you will. You can change your belief if your belief does not fit what you want. And you make that change a daily habit. And, I'm not going to have anybody share where they feel like they are with this or what is limiting them. But I want each of you to spend some time thinking about what beliefs that you may have that are limiting. I will tell you that one of the things that I have spent my entire life getting over is being a little kid in church and hearing the pastor say over and over again that it was easier for a camel to pass through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, I've heard that all my life.
And so what does that say? That sort of says, well, if you're rich and you have money, you're not going to get in heaven. Now, I started watching this show on Netflix. Jeff and I started, I think probably almost 2 weeks ago now. And it's, what is it, Greenleaf? It's Greenleaf. And it's about a very wealthy African church in Memphis, Tennessee. And on one of the very first ones, these people had won the lottery. And they came into the church and they went up front and they gave every bit of the earnings to the church. And the pastor and the pastor's wife said, that's right, God didn't want you to have all that money. And God is going to bless you. And of course, these just everyday folks go home, and these people go home to the mansion that's at least 10,000 square feet, and they got maids waiting on them. And it's like, wow. And certainly this is, what I find is very interesting. This is a black church. I lived down in Charlotte in the years of Tammy Faye Baker and her husband. Mm-hmm. And I watched this firsthand. So, paradigms and beliefs You know, I believe that God wants all of us to do well. And I believe that we sort of have a responsibility to do well. Because poor, can you help somebody else?
Sit.
If you're poor and you don't know where your next meal's coming from, you can't help others.
Yeah.
You know, it is about creating and sharing. And one of my, I love Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man. And if you've ever seen it, the grandfather tells Spider-Man when he is not the superhero that with great wealth comes great responsibility. And I really do believe that doing well, that one of the major reasons to do that is so that you can help others. It is a very important concept. So I think that took me too far. All right. So I want you to read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I want you to look at working at it one habit at a time. And we're going to, before you ever read it, on Saturday, I'm going to do some exercises that will, I think, make it much more alive to you. And it's the kind of book that if you've read it before, you can kind of look at the steps and decide which one you want to go into. If you've never read it, then I encourage you read it. It's a great book to read on Audible. It actually is probably a pretty good chance that it may be out there on YouTube where you can listen to it without buying it anywhere. You can check that out. But it's funny, the book was written 30 years ago, and it is just as relevant today as it was back then. And I want you to think about this. I want you to think this is 4 quadrants, and I want you to think in terms of what you do. And these are the ways we spend our time. The first quadrant is urgency. And urgency is the phone is ringing and you need to answer it. Or somebody just knocks on the door and drops by. They want to visit. They didn't let you know you were coming, whatever. Somebody calls you and they have failed to get something ready that they need to get to a neighbor and they want you to help them with it. Those are things that are urgent, but are they important to you? Are they important that you get them done? The second quadrant is important. And important things are filing our taxes, doing our budgeting. If we're in Nikken, talking to new people, making invitations, doing follow-ups. Those are things that are important, but they're not urgent. There's not going to be a fire beside them that we're running to put out. And the third quadrant is urgent and important. And that might be, for some people next month, they've not been cutting off electricity in North Carolina. And so there's a lot of people that haven't paid a power bill since March. Now, in October, if you don't pay it in full, they're going to cut your power off. And so some of these people will get a telephone call that will say, if your it's not paid by 5 o'clock today, we will be cutting off the power. That will be both urgent and important because they don't get it done. So urgent and important is if it's urgent and important, then you definitely got to deal with it. If I get a client that calls and says I'm suicidal, it trumps everything. I may have to just cancel it because it's urgent and important. Well, then there's not urgent or important. And that's things that, like, clean out your closet. If your closet's pretty neat, that's not terribly important. It might be, there are lots of things that, and you don't want to spend a lot of time. If it's not urgent or important, then it's just there for when there just is nothing else to do. That would probably be not urgent and not important would be dusting my baseboards. That doesn't happen very often because there's not a pressing need for it. Although I'm thinking about doing some painting, so probably will get more so. So I want you to think about those and where you spend your time. Time cannot be managed. I hear people, there's always another system, and Covey, of course, made a lot of money off of his planners and things. But they were a way to keep up with it. You don't manage time. Everybody has got 24 hours a day. There's the 1 minute manager. I mean, if you go out there's got to be millions of books on time management. But everybody has got the same amount. So what quadrant do you think you spend the most time in? Urgent, important, urgent and important, or not urgent or important? I want to hear from some of you. What do you all think?
I think my urgent is my daily activity, like what has to be accomplished before the end of the day. And I'll be the first to admit that sometimes Nikken isn't always the first thing on my list. However, I have been making a very serious effort to do the social media thing for Nikken. So I guess I do.
But I don't want you to think about urgent and important. Yeah. And it's a little bit different. Urgent are those things that somebody wants you to do right now. But they're urgent, but they don't have any importance. It sounds to me like, let me try this on. You say it's the things that you need to get done that day. Those are urgent and important.
Right.
That's quadrant 3. That's a good place to be.
Okay.
That's a good place to be. What do some of the rest of you think?
I think I spend my time doing not urgent or important because I'm on the phone all the time. People call me and I have company all the time. Which I enjoy, but I don't get anything else done. I don't mean it ugly, but that's just life.
Okay. Anybody else got any input on that?
Well, I feel like about everything I do lately is urgent and important. I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit behind on things or what I'm working on takes more time and effort. I just feel like I'm always, I've got some major projects that I feel like I'm 3 steps behind on each of them.
Well, I mean, if you're feeling really stressed about your time, then that probably means that you may need to take some things off of your plate.
Yeah.
I've taken a couple of things off my plate this week. For an example, I'm not going to do the wind down, energize up anymore because that's an hour a week. I've added in the hour a week that we're going to be doing our laugh, learn, and energizes. So that just took the place of that. And I am getting ready to lead B&I for the first time in 14 and a half years. Because that's going to free up another hour a week. And I'm contemplating where I can take one more hour. I mean, there are things that, my exercise every day is something that I will never give up. That is something that I need. My body needs it. My mind needs it. I mean, and sometimes we need to do an inventory and just figure out where we're spending that time. Anybody else got anything they want to say about where they think they are on those quadrants?
I'll just
I think
say
I've
this.
been in quadrant 3 a lot with like super urgent and important. Like everything else does not get done at all. It's like, but hopefully that's over with now. So.
Barbara, did you say something?
No, I was going to. I'm in the, I don't know. I am trying to start another business on top of doing Nikken. So Nikken is definitely not my number one priority. However, not as far as building it as a business. But I do talk about it, and I talk to people about Nikken quite often. My biggest problem has been not keeping up with, not doing the follow-up, or not getting the information from the people when I talk to them initially that seem interested.
Mhm.
So that's where I've got to change. But I've just lately, I mean, you know how complicated my life's been lately. So I'm finally getting to a place where I think things are going to start to level out.
And I will tell you that when my coach asked me to look at this stuff, it was about 3 weeks ago. And I think I've got a pretty busy schedule. And I was feeling really sort of overwhelmed. And I started asking myself everything that came up. Was it urgent? Was it important? Was it urgent and important? Was it not urgent or important? And I started, whatever I was going to do, I ran it through my mind. And it's been really interesting that I feel more in control. I'm getting more done, and I'm probably doing the best follow-up and connecting that I have ever done. And a lot of it has because I'm really thinking consciously about these quadrants. Which quadrant do you think steals the most of your time?
Quadrant 4.
4. But
I
I was going to say today, I said to myself, and of course, you know, I've been out of wax for 2 months anyway. And I was thinking today, I've got to sit down and regroup. I have got to get my life straightened out and decide what I'm going to do and what is important and what's not.
That's right. Well, I will tell you that urgent is what gets most of us.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a really good friend that I help out a lot with that's got a real court problem right now. And it's kind of like every few days there's another crisis. And so what I tell this person is, you just collect all your crises during the day and you get in touch with me at night. You send them over to me about 6 o'clock. I'll be somewhere shortly. I'll be finished. And I will look at it all at once and I'll put it together and send it back to you. You don't, you know, every time that this stuff comes up, you don't have to immediately go into a tailspin and go nuts.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other day I was on the phone and the phone was and the other phone was ringing and Jeff goes, the phone's ringing. I was like, that's okay. It'll go to voicemail. It'll be all right. So it's a matter of because if it's urgent, it may be urgent to somebody else, but if it's not important to me, I'm not going to throw everything aside and jump on it. Because if you do that, you will go from crisis to crisis, and other people's crises will become your crises. So which quadrants would you like to be in, or which do you think are the 2 most important quadrants?
I'd say
2 and 3.
3.
Oh, sorry, Barbara.
No, I think we agree, 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
That's where you want most of your time. You don't want much to be in 4 at all. if it's, and I'm going to tell you what, friends, spending time with friends and spending time with family is important. We need that to nurture ourselves. It's a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So in our business,
Now, when you're coming over,
I can't wait to come and see your place. In our business, what do you think is the most important?
You mean which quadrant?
No, what do you think the most important things are?
Building relationships.
and following up.
Mm-hmm.
Communication.
Yep. Well, these are the 5 that I said for network marketing, and it's caring about people and your customers. You know, over the past week, because when you are building a business, everything kind of goes in 2 to 3 month rolls. But if you want to have, if you want to build a good group, then you've got to really work with your customers, because they're most of the time where you will get people who decide they want to build a business. So you start out looking at the products that you're selling, and then you want to be nurturing those people. So I know that next month I want to make a big move. And so I've been contacting all of my customers, and I load them up into a call system that I've got, and every day 20 calls go out. And it's my voice. It goes directly into their voicemail. They don't know that I didn't call. And then I see who calls back. And who calls back are the people that were most interested in getting that. And then I call them back. And it's been really, really good. It lets me know who wants to talk to me. Today, a lady, and I had not called this person. The last time I saw her was January of 2019. And she called back, and I called her back this morning, and she spent over $200 before we got off the phone. I learned that her husband had passed away in April, and that was very sad. I'm also introducing her to 2 other people. She's looking at wanting to write a memoir, and I've got a friend that helps with that. And she also wants some cleaning supplies that I know someone, so I'm introducing her to those 2 people. But it's really, you know, contacting the people that you know and talking to them and building the relationship. The second one is believing in your product and using it, you know, and I think everybody on here is really good at that. Our Nikken products, you know, I've been using these products and sharing them with others for 14 and a half years, but sometimes I'm still amazed at what I see. So I've got an 80-some-year-old customer that last week I delivered something by her house, and she told me that she had arthritis in her hands and she's hurting right here in these knuckles. And I gave her some joint to try, but I said, why don't you put some tape on? And I mean, she looked at me like I had 3 heads, and she says, you know, tape is not going to stay on your hands. I'm going to tell Motrin. I said, okay. So I got home, and about an hour and a half later, I get a message. You know what? I put that tape on my knuckle, and it already feels better. My message back, I'm so glad that you tried that. You know, I don't, you know, this morning I was making toast, and I touched my finger to the bottom. I was pressing down on the bread, and I ended up pressing right down to the cast iron frying pan, which was not a happy situation. But I grabbed a knee wrap that I had in there, and I put it on my finger for about 10 minutes, and, you know, it's not even burned. So it took care of that. So, you know, when you believe and use them, then you're ready to share them. And then it's contacting new people and building relationships. And, you know, that's a really fun part, because when I'm meeting people, I don't ever meet people thinking I'm going to sell them a product. They're going to become a part of my team. I want to know what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what they enjoy. And then I'm thinking, how can I help them? I mean, this lady today that that bought over $200 worth, you know, I'm hooking her up with 2 other people that she will very likely do business with. And she's really thrilled because I'm helping her with those things. And then you share your product and your business, but you got to know what the person wants. And sometimes we jump in too quickly, and I'm bad about it at times, instead of asking more about what they want. What exactly do they want? And then it's incorporating new people in your business, because that's how we grow. As we find some other people that have a passion for sharing with others. And I thought it was really interesting that Luis Kasuga has been part of a really prestigious group from Japan and the United States. The former emperor of Japan is a part of this, on how the world has changed since COVID. And he said it was so interesting because a year ago, everybody was talking about, money and millennials and how all of this works. And now it's much more in the meetings he's in talking about a mission to serve others. That it's very much about having a conscience and being sensitive to others and what is going on. And, that fits right in the paradigm that Mr. Masuda created when he created Nikken. So, your ability to grow your business, improve others' lives is a result of your paradigms. And I will tell you that I guess it's probably been about 6 or 7 years. Some of you, I don't know if any of you know Larry Prophet, but Larry Prophet was with Nikken from the beginning. He's a person who wrote the very first Humans Being More. It wasn't called that then. It was called Silver Training. And Mr. Masuda wanted that to be a part of every person that came to Nikken's training because he wanted them to think about how they could be better people. And I ran into him in Texas and I said, I've done a lot of things and I just don't feel like it's come together. And he looked at me and he said, because you don't have a belief in yourself. And it was like he just took a sword and put it right through my heart. And I guess it felt that way because that was the truth. And like I said, I'm not showing any show of hands, but if the belief is something that you need to work on. And if you don't have it, then that's something that you've got to grow. And if you don't have the success you want, I'm going to challenge you to change those paradigms and beliefs. So here's some homework I'm giving you. I want you to create an affirmation, and I want you to say it 5 times every morning and 5 times just before bed. And this is just an example. I'm so grateful that I've changed 1,000 lives, and it should say for the best. Since it's in this, I might go, yep. There we go. Whoop, put it on the wrong side of the 4. For the best. And created financial freedom through my business, through teaching others to live better lives. My spell check did not catch a lot. Now, you make that affirmation what you want it to be. Doesn't even have to be related to Nikken. You think about what paradigms that need to be shifted for you to be living your best life. And, you'll think it's hokey, and some people have told me that affirmations are brainwashing, and I say absolutely they are. So is studying for a spelling test. So is studying for a math test. So is studying history. You say that stuff over and over and over and over again until it just spouts out. In the fall, when I have a lot of kids in my practice and they're struggling in math, first thing I say is, what's 7 times 7? What's 9 times 6? And then I say, you don't know your multiplication table. And I tell the parents, go home, get the flashcards, and get them going because they got to get it. And it's the same kind of thing. Whatever we say to ourselves, it sinks in. I won't ask for shows of hands, but, I would just about bet that way more than 10 times a day you say something nasty to yourself about, I'm lazy, I'm unorganized, I never get it done, We do that and we don't even question it. Well, I'm just asking you for 10 times a day to say something positive that will stick with you. There's some other homework. I want you to spend some time and look at your beliefs. Do you believe you can grow your business? Do you believe you can sell products? Do you believe you can influence people for the better? Do you believe you can teach others? Do you enjoy teaching others to live better lives? Because that's the other piece. Whatever you do, you got to make it fun. That is why I made the name of our get-togethers Laugh, Learn, and Energize, because a wellness preview is just about as exciting as scheduling a gastrointestinal exam with your doc. I mean, it's just not. But and that's the way that they do it in Latin America. It's everything is a party and everything is to be celebrated. And we're going to start this coming month celebrating things every month. We're going to celebrate who had the most volume. We're going to celebrate who's getting the new people. We're going to celebrate who got the most guests to events. All of this, we're going to start celebrating, and we're going to focus on it, because where focus grows, where energy goes, focus is there and everything grows. I want you to look at where you are for your goals for the month, because you got a week left, folks. We got a whole week. This week is usually the biggest week in Nikken, and I'm pretty straight out there. Last month I was just really sweating, and I was sitting on my last week, and basically up until last month, every month I had met my low goal by the middle of the month, and everything on it was gravy. Well, I was like, I think I was 2,500, which meant I had to do 1,500 in that last week just to get to my minor goal, which was 4,000. By midnight, I had 6,300 was what I got for my PGV. And every bit of that came in the last week. I want you to all invite at least 10 people to tomorrow night's event and Sunday's event. Now, you can do that many different ways. You can text them on your phone, which I highly recommend people look at that. You can call them on the phone. You can send a message through Facebook. I'd love for you to share the Facebook event or something like that. But if you don't feel comfortable of calling, send a personal message. And when you send that message, say, I'd like to invite you to a party. It's going to be lots of fun, and you're going to learn some stuff about how to stay healthier in the cold and flu season and this pandemic mess. But we're going to play some games and have fun. Maybe they'll come, maybe they won't. Share the link with them. But when people get a personal invitation, it makes a difference. And by using text and using Messenger, it's a lot easier than picking up the phone. You're going to have to learn how to pick up the phone at some point, but you don't have to do it today. But if you just simply send those out each time, you will start getting results. Now, before the end of the month, I want you to send out an email about a product that you love to your customers or your friends, telling a story about it, and tell why you love it. And ask for help. Do they know anyone who could benefit or be interested in that product, or would they introduce you? People love to help you. And I know that every one of you on this call tonight has a product that you love. A lot of you have way more than just one. And your excitement about that product is worth more than anything else. And when you share that and then say, do you know anybody that might could benefit from this, because I really want to share it, and that you could really help me, then it gives it, because people feel good when they feel like they've helped somebody. I mean, that's a good feeling. Nothing wrong with that. So that's part of your homework. So it's the last week of the month. It's usually the biggest, so let's help each other and finish strong. We've got an event tomorrow night at 7, and Barbara's going to be doing that one. And then we've got one at 4 on Sunday, and Cece's going to be doing that one. So any thoughts about the presentation tonight, or anything that any of you all need for me to help you?
I think one of the light bulbs that's going off my head is is not being afraid to ask.
Right. You know, the worst they're going to say is no. And, you know, nobody ever died from being told no. Children would never make it, you know, out of 2 or 3 years old. If I can get out of the, okay, I'm supposed to be out of the full screen.
I have a little thing I might need some help with. Just really another perspective, especially from everyone, since I have so much respect for everyone here on this call. A lot of times when I meet new people, I find that we'll make a lot of synchronistic conversation. I'm never very pushy in the beginning. That actually, Kimball, is something that you helped me not do. And so I'm able to follow up with people, but then it's like, I've been trying to follow up to get 3-way calls with the same like 3 or 4 people for 3 weeks now. And they just, oh, let's try again next week. And I'm like, the week just started.
Do you get them on the phone?
I usually do, but lately it's just been a text because they don't answer.
Oh, okay.
So usually I try to call first, like if I know when they're working or what their work schedule is like if they're flexible working from home or whatnot, I try to call them just because this is why me being online and social media only is difficult for me, because I'm a very people person, and I feel like it's less genuine when I'm just, oh, hey, let me take a posy picture. So I don't know, but I just feel like more so lately, just getting like a pushback when I don't understand why. Like one lady, she's got a lot of health stuff. I wanted her to speak with you just because you two have synchronicities in y'all's health stuff. And then another one, she just started a new job, but she's already miserable, and she's been doing sales for 30 years almost.
Well, there's a saying that Virginia Satir had that's one of my favorites, and it's that most people choose the certainty of misery to the misery of uncertainty. And
yeah, that makes sense with, yeah.
And a lot of times people are afraid to try something because they've been disappointed so many times, so they just develop the belief system that it's not going to get any better. And that's a problem. And then some people are afraid that if they get on the phone that they're going to be pushed to do something. Sometimes, and this is the way Dave Johnson says, just get one of your consultants and just start calling. And you don't call and schedule. If nobody answers, then we just go to the next person we call. And, you know, when you get on the phone with them, you know, I'll say, oh, you know, I'm so excited to meet you. Elizabeth's told me so much about you, and I'll share something positive that you've told me. And, you know, Elizabeth just wanted me to get to know you a little bit. So tell me about what you've done 3 ways with me. I mean, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And when they find out that I don't try to push them to do anything and I just chat with them, a lot of times that gets people. When Kathy's daughter joined Nikken a number of years back, every time we did an event, she would call me and we would call people before the event, and I would do 3 ways. And exponentially, we improved the people that showed up. Exponentially. Because when they got on the phone with me, they found out that, you know, nobody was going to be Shanghai or anything. And I complimented them and I told them things that Jackie had told me, and they were fine with it. You know, come on and have a good time. You'll learn something new, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. And so, because people, and Lord knows there are people that deserve this. I think I've told all of you all about having a friend who was in another BNI, and they went to lunch with a network marketer, and the network marketer told them all about their stuff. And then just before they left, she says, well, are you going to buy any of my stuff or what? And it was like, oh my gosh. You know, that's and nobody wants to be sold, by the way. Everybody likes to buy. They like to get something that they want. Now, there are some things that I'll tell you, like one of the things I learned a long time ago was don't stop selling until they say no. And there was something like that the lady Day was asking, and she's got a grounding pad. And she's not been using it. While we're on the phone, she got it out, and I showed her how I keep it on my lap because we ended up on a FaceTime call accidentally. Sort of, she hit the FaceTime. She's 86, and
It was divine. It was divine, Kimball.
I was showing her this. I said, well, just get that out and start using it. Well, how much are they? Maybe I want to buy a second one. I was like, well, okay, because I'm going to buy one because this woman's got plenty of money and she's got 3 girls that are there taking care of her. So she decides while on the phone she's going to buy another one, and she wanted a necklace, and she said, "Do you have a really light necklace?" Well, the silver one is, and so anyway, she decided she was going to give. She gave me the credit card number, and I said, "Well, did you want me to get that necklace too? How much is that?" I said, "It's about $80." It's actually $79. I thought it was $80. And she goes, "Yeah, I want that too." And so I put it in, and we had talked about lactoferrin. She said, "I think I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to send her some samples of lactoferrin and see if she wants to get it." Because I'm big about throwing things in a plastic bag and sending them out and let people try them now. But, I didn't push. If she'd said no, it was no. But, did you want that? She's like, "Yeah."
Well, so that's kind of my frustration with these hangups, because 2 of the 4 people, I'm trying to get them samples because the one girl, she hardly ever can eat real food. I want her to have some of the KVB and try it out, and some of the Siaga and the vegan drink mix, just so she can kind of experiment and find her own little flavor palette that works for her, because she's had so many struggles. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, she's like, sometimes I just can't even eat anything or keep anything down. And then the other girl, she's got health stuff too. And it's a lot of the same stuff. And now she's working this new job and new stress. And I'm like, can we just like meet up for samples? So like, maybe I'm like not saying it right, or like not, I just want to give them samples. Yeah.
BC, you got
Okay. So what I think, because I had a friend that sounded kind of like what you're saying is, "Oh, my stomach hurts all the time. Oh, I can't eat all the time." And I'm the worst person to tell that to, because if you look at me, I totally look fine. But I know what that feels like, and I had to switch the switch in my brain that said, this is gonna taste like crap, or you're not gonna love this as much as you love that chicken, but this is gonna make you feel better. Some people never switch that switch, and so they will tell you, "Oh, I feel horrible. Oh, my stomach hurts all the time. Oh, I just don't know what to do. Oh, there's nothing for me." There is. When you're ready, let me know. And I had to let her go. I still love her. I still see her. I still cook certain foods whenever she comes by, because I know those are things that probably won't trigger her. But she's not there. She's not there to say, I have to help myself. It's like a drug addict or an alcoholic.
Yeah.
If they're not ready,
yeah, you
back
can't
up.
help them.
Find somebody else.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because you're just banging your head against a wall, and they don't
No,
wanna
I have
hear
been.
you.
Yeah, and I had other things, and I'm like, extra
I
bang
gave
my head in the
her-
wall.
I gave my friend probably 5 little snack packs of the vegan drink mix. I gave her half of a pack of the matcha green tea. I gave her lactoferrin. I wasn't trying to break her arm. I was just trying to show her things that I knew that would really help. It's not like I don't know and I'm just in sales trying to be like, "Oh, you got to buy this. You got to buy this
Right.
new car." It is what it is. I know it will help, but I had to leave it alone. And
Yeah.
she has slowly come around. She did buy a necklace and 2 bracelets, and she bought a necklace for her husband, and she bought a grounding mat, and she bought a dog pad before they went out for her baby to sleep on. So she's almost there for the people she loves. But
Right.
for the person that she needs to be for them, no, it's too much. I'll do it next time.
She's
I'm
still not
sure.
there for herself.
Yeah. So
See,
those are the people that I just back up from, because I feel like.
And these are all women
Wait.
too. I wonder, because this is what we do. We take care of everyone else and ourselves last.
Now,
I don't do that anymore.
That's good. I'm trying to not do that.
One of the things that you might do, and this is another way, is, what would you be doing differently if you had something you could eat that didn't make you sick and gave you energy? What can't you do now that you'd be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they say, oh, well, I love to walk, but I don't walk much anymore because I just never have any energy. Oh, where do you like to go on walks at? What would you like to see?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you keep asking those questions, and you keep helping them get a more and more and more vivid picture of that. Just keep asking questions, and you get them to fill it all in. And when they have, say, well, you know what? I don't know if I could help you. I know somebody that had some problems like that. And Cece, you could get her on a call. And you know what? It's made a huge difference with her. I don't know if it'd help you or not, but wow, what would it be like if you could do a walk like that every single day?
Yeah.
Because
sell the manifested dream.
What you're trying to do is you've got to get them. I mean, they're in this mindset. I hurt. I can't eat. My life stinks. It's never going to get better. And that's all they see. If you can help them, move into that area of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to lose, and Sue, that was a great call last Saturday, but I didn't like the fact that they were still saying opportunity, because that's not what, we don't offer opportunities. We offer possibilities. I don't know if I can help you. And if you say that to them, I don't know if I can help you, they feel better, because now you haven't made a promise to them that,
Right.
I don't know if I can help you.
Right, because people are just trying to I can promise you the world and then not deliver it.
Well, I think it's possible. And then they want to try but you've got to get them thinking about that possibility. You got to get them thinking about the possibility. But with that said, it is way easier to give birth than it is to resurrect the dead.
Yeah, because I'm not worshiping the devil anytime soon.
Jesus is the one who raised the dead, and I don't think I want that job. So it's easier to find somebody else to talk to than it is, and don't give them up forever. You put them on your list.
Yeah.
Months from now, you wind back around.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, and I wanted to still invite them to the the laugh, learn, and energize stuff, because it's chill, low key, oh hey, just come hang out for a little bit on a Zoom call. No big deal, no commitment.
You get to see what kind of jelly bean you are. What does your jelly bean need?
I did that, and then I didn't even do it for myself. So this time I'll do it for myself. I'll really think about what color jelly bean do I think I am.
That's right, because it's really color psychology. It's 86% validity. So it's fun, but now I'm going to tell you this. When we play that game, notice who's raising their hands when, particularly when they are one of your guests.
Mm-hmm.
It won't tell you what they're interested in. Purple jelly beans, we like to have fun. Yellow jelly beans really like to help others. Green jelly beans, they want recognition. So the reason I chose that game was I went to a large conference with like 1,000 people, and everybody came in, got a jelly bean. It wasn't because they wanted to give us processed sugar. It was because people stood up according to what they were, and the speaker knew who they were speaking to.
That's good.
Now,
That's crazy. Awesome.
people don't want to be analyzed. They freak out. I mean, one time I was in Jekyll Island, Georgia, and I had been there for a psychotherapy conference, and I was taking this horse and buggy tour, and the guy asked me would I be willing, I was by myself, so he asked me would I be willing to sit beside him because he could get more fares, and I said, sure. We got up there, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm a psychotherapist. And he said, are you going to analyze me? And I said, let me ask you, when you go on vacation, do you take this horse and buggy and give rides? He says, no. I said, so there's not a chance in this world I'm analyzing you. And we're not doing this because we want to fix them, but what we want to know is who's in your audience. How do they talk? In Nikken, and we're going to talk more and more about this, in Nikken, we look at, are you a supporter? Are you an analyzer? Are you a controller? Or are you a promoter? I'm a promoter. But you know what? That doesn't make me any better at this business than any of the other three. And every good team has got people in all of those areas. But one of the things that I want each one of you to learn is how do you talk to the different people? Because if you come to me as a promoter and you go, well, we're going to start on time and we're going to have everybody's butt in the seat, and if they don't have all their stuff together, I'm thinking, oh, crap, I don't want to do what you're doing because there is no fun involved with that. You got way too many rules for me. But if you go to a controller and you say, oh, my gosh, this event's going to be so much fun. We're going to have music and you can dance at the beginning. And they're going like, what are you talking about? Because they want to control. Supporters want to take care of people. They call them the minivans. Oh, let's get the minivan. Let's all get together and let's have a good time. And then the analyzers, they want information. They've got to have more information. If you start selling to an analyzer, they want the double-blind studies. They want to know what the ingredients were. They want to know how long this has been manufactured. And I used to look up all of this stuff. Now, when I got an analyzer, I'm like, you know, you need to Google that. I might have something, but Google it and see what you can find and come back to me if you can't find it, because they love to analyze, and I don't love looking up stuff. And you know what? With an analyzer, you have no idea how long you'll be looking up stuff before you've given them enough stuff for them to be happy. Mike Nuccio is an analyzer, and he is $1 million earner. So don't ever think. I mean, there are people that have done well in Nikken that are in every single one of those quadrants. But I want us to start thinking about that, because whenever we present, and you all are presenting now, you want to use language that talks to all of those people. Now, jelly beans a little bit different, but it's really not. Purple jelly beans, they're probably promoters. Yellow jelly beans, they're probably supporters. Black and white jelly beans, they're probably very much controllers. They like to have control of things. I can't think of where the red, I'd have to look at where they would go in. But it's a fun game, and it's going to give us information, and we start off with a game. I mean, if you go to a party, you got to have a game. So we will play with this stuff, and we will make it better as we go along, but we want to have fun. So invite a bunch of people for tomorrow night. Anything else I can help you with tonight before we call it a night?
Do we have the link yet for tomorrow night? Is it going to be the same one, or do we know?
I didn't. My virtual assistant has put the events up on Facebook. So
Facebook. Okay. Well, because I deleted Facebook off my phone, so I have to be on my laptop.
Okay.
To look at that stuff.
Okay.
That's so I'm just trying to check in for me so I can schedule accordingly for my own stuff.
It's like I said, I didn't even put it up. It will be the same link for both of them. I gave her, because no, it's not the same link as tonight. It's a different link. And it's on
your
one from
Facebook
Sunday,
page,
right?
It's on Wellness Solutions today. It should be.
Right.
I know she's put it up because there's a picture, because I've already seen the one for Thursday night with a picture of Barbara, and I gave her a picture because if I don't have a picture of you all, I just snafu one off of Facebook. I got a good picture of you,
You could
Cece.
have asked me. I could have
What did
given
I do?
It was your picture on Facebook. I said, well, that is a good picture, and I screenshotted it, and off it went.
Oh,
Mine
thanks.
is awful. Mine is awful. I'm all blurry.
Yeah, Barbara's was, I think, from one of the groups she used to be in Pittsburgh, but she was speaking
Yeah.
at the group, and I thought it was pretty. I was like, oh, that's perfect. So
Great. It's a little blurry though, and I got a big fat face.
you
But it's okay.
don't.
You have a smiling and inviting face.
That is
Yeah, but that's before I lost the 30 pounds I've lost too, and it's like,
Well, then you
ugh.
better send her another picture.
Well, she didn't ask me, or I would have sent her one.
had to get the stuff up. You all are the people that I work with are not the quickest about getting pictures and things to me, and
I'm on a dating site. I have to send pictures. I'm good. Well, I'm not on it now, but I was. So I got pictures. Just saying. We single women have some pictures.
She's so
Yes.
crazy.
All the single ladies.
Hey, all the single. If you ever need help with some angles or some lighting, let me know because I got you.
I always do, because I am horrible at taking selfies. My daughter-in-law was teaching me before she left with my son to go to Japan, and it's like, oh my God, please come home so that I can learn how to do these selfies. I don't know. I send pictures and it's like, nope, I don't want to go out with you. And it's like, oh God, what's wrong with me? So whatever.
Nothing's wrong with you. It's just
No,
not
it's the
divine.
man.
Leave
It's
it
the man.
alone.
It's the man.
Yeah,
They're
it's
looking for
okay.
some trashy hoe, and that's not me. So, oh well.
you just haven't found the right one. That's all.
They just can't handle sophistication. That's all it is.
I agree. All right, ladies. Got anything else before we call it a night?
No.
Can we go around and say some positive things to end the call with?
Yeah, I tell you what. Each person will say something positive, and Elizabeth, you started this. I start with you. Go.
All right. So I've been dating a good man, trying to get rid of an unwanted house guest for a couple weeks. His mom is a bodybuilder. She does NPC competitions. She's 54 years old. She's on keto, which I'm on keto now because my doctor was like, your iron is like a little too low all the time. I've put products on all her kids. And they love it. They were like, oh, hey, welcome to the family. Like the first time that I met them, did the CM cream and tape and gave boyfriend a necklace today. I happen to be wearing two because of what I was dealing with today. So I gave him a necklace because he said he had migraines. And by the time he got home 2 hours later, he's like, yeah, my migraine finally went away. It was pounding all day. So that's like a big thing because it's like selling without selling, and that's how I like to do it, and because that's what makes me love Nikken. So
Absolutely. All right, Betty, next.
Well, I'm on my way up. I'm regrouping. I'm getting better. I'm on my way up.
Cece.
Positive. I have been doing my due diligence for Nikken, all the green.
Woo!
The days I've spent on Nikken, whether it's on my Nikken Facebook page that I made last week that I forgot to tell you about, and I've been trying to post something every day or every couple of days just to try to stay on top of it. I know that my month goal won't be attained only because of the time. I have put a lot of time, but I didn't really give myself a large goal because I wanted to be sure that I was doing things proper and something that would really fit in my day-to-day schedule, doing homeschool and everything else that I do. So I just felt like, let's make it simple and stick to that first. So, but I feel like it's going fine.
Good. Shirley.
Well, I'm getting some things checked off on my list, but I'm not where I want to be. I'll just keep chugging.
Okay, but just get really excited about where you are and then go on to the next spot. Barbara.
Well, Barbara is her own best customer. I just got my new Nikken water system, and Jeff helped me this afternoon. So tomorrow I will have my Nikken water and not have to have it in my portable bottle.
Yeah.
Hey,
And you're going to
love it.
Yes,
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I was hoping I could use it today, but Jeff said, no, I had to soak that thing, the filter overnight. I'm like, really?
8 hours, baby.
It's not a big deal. I'll have Nikken water tomorrow and not in my portable bottle, but that's cool.
Yay.
And I got my pillow this week too, because I had 2 orders that I sent off, and I got my pillow, and my neck had been hurting for several days since I'd moved in and gotten my new bed and all that, blah, blah, blah. And I slept on my Nikken pillow. Oh my God, now I don't want to get up out of bed.
yeah.
And my neck doesn't hurt. So anyway, got a lot of positives going on in my life. There's nothing but positive here. So I need to talk to Elizabeth and get my get those good guy vibes. So
I just added you on Facebook, girl.
No, I just accepted you, girl. Yeah.
Hey, I got you. I got you. You're local, aren't you? Aren't you local to us? Local-ish?
Yeah, I am. I'm in Alamance County.
Girl, you're. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Sorry. My dad keeps trying to call me. So my mom lives in Alamance County. However, I have like a little. Just message me on Facebook. We'll link up some kind of way.
Let's do. That'd be fun. You can come over for some hot tea or something.
Hey, whatever's clever. Have you ever tried to make the matcha green, the 10-4 with tea? Like you have to not use like hot. Like you steep your tea and then you add it after it's like almost room temperature.
No, teach me, girlfriend. Teach me.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Well, hey, we've got some adventures ahead of us then.
All right. We all do. Yay,
Cool.
yay, yay. All the positives.
Have you got something positive to share?
Do what?
Sheila, what's your positive to share before we go?
Yeah, Sheila.
Well, I am and I sent you a text today. I'm going to be opening in New York City next year, up in New York.
Wow.
So I've got, and I am I'm a member of the an offshoot of the Chamber of Commerce up there. I have a group of people who are helping me promote my Nikken business distributorship with about 800 or some, I think 800 or some people. So I'm really excited about that. I had a great meeting today and I just have a great feeling about it. But I'm not going to live in the city. I'm going to be upstate. So that just came through today and I'm really thrilled. So,
Well,
and I'm on
excited
everything.
for you. We're excited for you.
So
Thank
happy
you.
for you, getting what you wanted. I remember when I first met you. That is,
That will be great. Well,
the truth bumps all over. That's so awesome.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. I'm just so thrilled, and I'll be doing a lot of 3-ways with you, Kimball.
Can't wait. And so Saturday, 10 a.m., I'll send out a thing tomorrow. And I'm just really excited. We've got an event tomorrow night at 7 and another one on Sunday at 4. Let's rock it, ladies.
Okay.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.